What is up, everybody? It's the Inhuman one here, and today we're going to continue with part 3 of the Mandela Catalogue. Now, so far I've been having an absolute blast with this series. It's been really fun because for the first time, aside from just being creepy, it's actually been scary. So much so that, I get goosebumps. I get the hair standing up on my arms kind of thing. It's been an experience where, interestingly enough, aside from just being creepy or eerie, this is one that really hits home. And it's so strange because it's the things that it does with the voices, the whispering sounds, that creation of a sense of fear. It just does it so well that you're never really sure if there is going to be any kind of jump scare or anything like that. But they don't often really rely on jump scares. It's just more so the creepy ambience amplified to the max, because you have things that we're familiar with that have become transformed into something entirely different. Like, for example, just a man's face can become something entirely different. You have the biblical stories where an angel is speaking, where it's supposed to be calm and soothing, but it's very, very dark, and it's a harsh, whispery type voice. It's very ominous. So the creator has done such a great job creating a series that really knows how to tap into your fears. And this has been the first out of Happy Meat Farms, Vita Carnis, and now the Mandela Catalogue that I've truly been like, yep, I'm spooked. GL, what's going on? Thank you so much for stopping by. I know you don't often, I know you're very excited, about the original copies, and I hope we get to those today. It looks like we have some longer videos for today's stream, but we'll try and fit in everything we can. At some point in time, I want to make sure that we're also implementing some of the games that are, inspired by these ARGs as well. There's plenty of great games out there. There is a poll that I put on the chat that I would love for you guys to participate in, and it kind of leads to like what the next step of these live streams are going to be, where we're then playing horror games as well, and then we'll be bouncing back and forth between live reactions with these analog horrors and ARGs, and then the actual horror games themselves, some of which are directly inspired by these awesome works, and others that are just spooky. I personally prefer indie games. I love indie games because a lot of times the AAA games can't quite capture the passion behind the developers. It's more so like, hey, you have budgets, you have deadlines to meet, and whatever else, and we have to be in the we have to be in the green. We have to make a profit. So you get all the stupid stuff like loot boxes, whatever else, all that stuff that has to dilute the game, but it does keep it in business, right? I like indie games because oftentimes it might take 5 years to make, but you have 2 or 3 people that are absolutely passionate about creating a story and a message in some sort of way, and it's usually, even if it's pixelated, the art is amazing, and it's very, can see the time that they put into it, right? And so things like some of my favorite games of all time are these smaller indie games that have really resonated with the communities that they've created. So I like that kind of stuff. Indie games sometimes get a bad rap because it's just jump scare, it's just gore. Sometimes you have some little nuggets on these little itch.io websites or Steam that just don't get the same they don't have the same publisher backing, so they don't get the same marketing, but they have excellent stories, excellent lore, and that's what I want to also bring to this channel as well. Obviously the lore will be focused on my main channel, but any kind of experiences, playthroughs, and guides, things like that, of those types of topics and content, that's going to be right here, live, almost all the time. So really excited about it. GL says, don't worry about it. Just a fan of the Mandela Catalogue, and I'm interested in what theories people come up with. Well, I'm a fan of awesome, commenters like you, because you have done so well in like kind of guiding me to watch certain videos without spoiling the experience, because this is one of those topics where I would hate if I got spoilers, right? Certain things I don't mind, but these kinds of experiences, it's just so nice to have like a true, honest, genuine experience with it for the first time. So thank you so much for helping me get the most of my experience by just kind of jumping into it in the right order and suggesting the order in which we can view different things. So it has helped quite a bit. We are going to jump into the Mandela Catalogue Volume 333. We have seen that number various times. We saw error code 333 in the previous video. We saw image number 333 that was just all question marks, something that could not be, I guess, decrypted or read or whatever. And so this is a number, not one that I was initially familiar with. I know 666, the mark of the beast, that kind of number, but I didn't know 333 was, quote unquote, God's number or whatever. I thought it was like 7. I thought 777 was. I'm not familiar actually myself with 333. So it's interesting. But anyways, what I want to do is I want to jump into the Mandela Catalogue, volume 333. I imagine we'll be able to get through the majority of it, and then we'll complete that video, go to Every Day Gets Brighter, and then I imagine after Act 1 we can jump into the original copies. There are some other playlists there that I'm not sure where they fit in the story. So I'll turn to you guys for that kind of guidance. But other than that, let's jump right in. We've got a lot to cover today, and I want to make the most out of today. I'm going to be incredibly busy this weekend packing for a big move. And then the move will, of course, take place next Saturday. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. We've got, birthday parties and all this other stuff we got to do this weekend as well, and somehow fit in packing. So we're going to do our best. But I'm just like, my mind is kind of there right now, and I want to put that away for a bit so I can just enjoy. But anyways, let's make sure the volume's okay. I think that'll be all right. Maxed out there. We'll jump into the Mandela Catalogue, volume 333, and we're going to go ahead and get this up to full size. Oh, you're making me blush. Too funny. All right, let's see what we got. Kind of zooming in on like a neighborhood. It looks like maybe a particular home. This is the same home where I will call it the hanged woman, incident occurred. And we saw the one that we can't actually, say is definitively an alternate was here. There was a kidnapping here that took place. A mother then ended up subsequently committing Kermit by way of hanging. And then because there's all these different sounds and this ruckus, the neighbors called, investigators were sent, and they felt an overwhelming sense of dread. And so instead of staying around, they set up an automatic camera or an automated camera that took pictures every 5 minutes. And in that series of pictures, we did see what I thought was Gabriel or an alternate, but it was just what I'm going to now start calling the Smiling Man. The Smiling Man appeared, and then we got some information from Lieutenant Davis of the Mandela County Police Department stating that there was a common consensus and agreement that this was not an alternate. This was something entirely different, which is incredibly confusing to me because I initially thought that the angel Gabriel was indeed that man, just now in modern form. But there seems to be maybe different factions of creatures, possibly angels or demons, and then these alternates. I don't know if they're tied together or what, but they seem to have these goals that are not necessarily shared. One wants to know your fear, another seems to be something that can share information with you that you don't want to know that makes you go mad, which then causes you 97% of the time to commit Kermit. So really interesting things to digest there. As I'm going through this, I'm just kind of trying my best to piece it together. I haven't had time outside of stream to go back to my research too much this week and this last week actually because of the move and everything. But I do want to at some point in time do a comprehensive theory that explains, the Mandela Catalogue, maybe in its separate acts or maybe just as a whole work together. So right now I don't know. It seems like there's two factions, humanity stuck in between, and it's kind of pick your poison at this point. All right, let's jump in. So now we know the woman was maybe called Lynn. We have a Lynn talking here, baby crying, and then a woman named Lynn shushing She's using the shusher. Shushing.
It's okay. It's okay. What's wrong, honey? Everything's gonna be okay. You'll be fine.
Hey, what's up?
He started crying again. Same time. I don't know what to do.
I'm sorry.
So there's a Lynn and there's a Jude. Interesting. Jude is, I don't know. I know Judas is a biblical. I'm not sure about Jude in particular, but so Lynn's calling Jude to say, "Hey, the baby's crying again." I don't know who Jude is. Could be the father. Could be a friend. But he's saying, "I just don't know how to help you anymore."
I just don't know how to help you anymore. Are you absolutely sure it's not though?
No, I keep telling you, it's not. I've had it unplugged for weeks now.
So she's had something unplugged, possibly the TV. We see a divorce agreement here, a divorce decree. It is saying that Jude and Lynn have been divorced. They were married in 1990 and they divorced 2 years later. So that didn't last. It was irreconcilable differences. I wonder if I can move the I can. Nice. So essentially, Jude and Lynn have been divorced. I don't know why that flew up there. It's just gonna stay up there now.
I mean, I guess I can come over and help you figure it out.
Dad of the Year award. Even though you're divorced, you're still a father, bro. Let's see. Lynn calls Jude to report crying baby. Now the thing is, Lynn said that it's been unplugged for, I don't know, for days or weeks now. It's probably talking about a TV.
Are we sure it's not though?
No, I keep telling you, it's not. I've had it unplugged for weeks now.
It's been unplugged for weeks now. So I'm assuming that's a TV.
I mean, I guess I can come over and help you figure it out. Are you free tomorrow night?
As far as we know, TVs and mirrors have been ordered to be destroyed by the Temporal Phenomena Department. So it's the United States Department of Temporal Phenomena. So they have issued an order stating that all TVs and all mirrors must be destroyed.
Tomorrow night? You promise you will actually come over this time?
Jude, you suck, dude.
He's still your child too, you know.
I swear to God, Lynn, if this is just an imaginary friend or something, I'm gonna lose it.
Well, now we know why they got divorced.
What do you mean? Do you realize how young he is?
Alright, so now we're zooming out of the neighborhood. This is still the aerial view of the same neighborhood. I was looking for like churches or something like that to see if we had any landmarks. I don't see anything like that yet. Just large houses.
Don't be so overpopulated. There will be wars. All nuclear explosions and everything.
So I just tend to today's chores.
So somebody's watching TV. That's a very creepy image. You have the eyeball and it's reflecting the image from the TV. We had a British woman talking about something like nuclear devastation. I don't think that's important. I think it's important to note that whoever's eye this is, they're watching TV. So there's a close-up of an eye. And now we know they're watching TV. They're kind of just perusing the channels.
And let the good Lord worry about tomorrow.
Here we go. Okay, so this person's watching TV, just kind of going through the different channels. One had, again, just a reference to nuclear, so I don't think that's too important. One had a reference to, oh, let the good Lord handle it, or tomorrow kind of thing. I'm assuming that that's kind of like maybe tying to that religious or that biblical thing that we've been seeing, that theme.
What about us?
This was done really well. I enjoy this video. I like that. 333 appears at 2 minutes and 12 seconds. 333. But what does it mean? What does it mean? We've got the good old analog TV screen where it's just kind of confused. It's like, wait, maybe a message, PSA announcement might be coming up. Police Department, Mandela County. Okay, April 4th, 1992. They're doing some sort of commemoration, sorry, where maybe like a ceremony. It says, let's see. It's really hard to see what this says here, but it says something like day. Oh, it's really hard. Yeah, it's really hard to read. I never can read that. Live from Horaya Hall, HCPD. Okay. So we got April 4th of 92.
Nothing but enlightening, to say the least. I learned a lot about myself, and I hope my colleagues in this room have learned just as much about me as well. I will never stand down for my base values, no matter how far up the ladder I go. While I may not be the most spoken type,
It said Thatcher was talking, so I wonder if there's somebody else.
city with pride, and I'm grateful to be rewarded with such. Thank you all.
Okay, so we're commemorating a promotion of 2 officers, Thatcher and Weaver. So there's Ruth Weaver and Lieutenant Thatcher. Sergeant Ruth Weaver. Okay, just in case that matters, these people might be important later on. That's possibly... Oh, okay, Lieutenant Thatcher. His first name's Thatcher. That's strange. Okay, so Lieutenant Thatcher Davis and Sergeant Ruth Weaver. We've already seen a lot about Lieutenant Davis specifically giving orders against interrupting encounters with alternates, and also against the sharing of certain evidence of the existence of alternates. This is a random line.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Wait. I feel like that beep almost spelled something out.
Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
I could be overdoing this. I could really be overdoing this, but that seems like text that's been stretched a lot. It looks really weird to me. I could really be overdoing this, and it's going to be hard for me to... Here's a hint of one of the games in the poll. It could be me just overdoing it. Let's see. No, okay. That was a good thought, though. It was a good thought. Just nothing. It's literally just the frequency. For a moment, it just seemed too clean. That was very odd. Okay, my bad. I'm just getting a little...
Good evening, officer. One of our students, Mark Heathcliff, he's been absent for the past couple days without any reason, no phone calls from parents, no doctor's excuse.
Oops. And now we have a phone call reporting Mark Heathcliff's absence. Well, I can assure you
We don't have any
Not doing too good.
Contact on file for him. If you could have someone pay a visit to the 3.
They redacted the information so we don't receive the address. But another important thing is that they said they don't have emergency contacts for him. That's one of the almost like the requirements that you have to have in order to register your child. It's strange that they don't have any emergency contacts.
Make sure everything's all right. It would be much appreciated. Oh, and if someone could try to get the contact info for whoever answers the door, that would be much appreciated. Thank you. Have a nice night.
Oh yeah. All right. So at least we had a good Samaritan. She's reporting that Mark's been missing. If I've seen anything from the police department, they're probably not going to do too much investigatory work. I stand corrected. Here they are. Outside his house, I'm assuming. So again, another not a still image. I mean, it's an image of the outside. Not any activity that I can see. Even if I were to enhance it, it doesn't seem like there's anything in the darkness that I can pull out or extract. So we just hear the crickets chirping. Just the sounds of nature on a quiet night. We see the red and blue flashing lights indicating that a police unit has been sent out to the residence, so that's good.
Sheriff's Department, open up.
That's Lieutenant Thatcher.
Police, open the door.
That is not how. Oh, they shouldn't be doing that. Like, that's kind of like, chill out, bro. You just knock, and it's what they call a well visit or something. There's some sort of like well-being type visit. I forget the term for it, but it's to make sure that, hey, you're not dead. You do it for old people, things like that might be subject to, hey, they might have fallen and they can't get help or anything. If you don't see them for a while, I think it's called a well visit. That's the doctor's office thing. There's something like that where they're trying to check and make sure you're okay. It's like a courtesy type thing that they do. So Lieutenant Thatcher visits Mark's home to conduct, I'm just going to call it a courtesy check. Obviously, that's not what it's actually called, but for our purposes, that is what we'll call it. A wellness check. Okay, it is. What's up? Night of Blackfire. What's up, man? GL says you might be overthinking that one. Yeah, I thought so. It just looked so clear to me. It was very strange. It looked very clear. Like that would have been really neat though if they hid actual words and text in the audio file, or that that would have been really neat. That's actually an idea that I'm just keeping in mind for something else. But that's kind of neat. Night of Blackfire. Wake up, sleepyhead. I'm actually glad you joined. I'm really glad you joined. But hey, man, I don't. You're braver than I am. I don't think the first thing I want to see when I wake up is alternates and demons and whatever the hell these things are. Wellness check. Okay, that is what it's called. My bad. I just kept thinking wellness check. Oh, that's like a doctor's visit thing. I know for a fact that is. I didn't remember the name. Lieutenant Thatcher has visited Mark's home. He's doing his wellness check, pounding on the door saying, hey, please open up. Ooh. Have we seen that already? Altercation, real evidence, case number. Well, case 432 is just going to be the case number associated with Mark's disappearance, I'm assuming. So this could be a different evidence tape. Gosh, I have so many notes. It's insane. La la la. Let's see here. I'm just curious, so sorry. I'm just wanting to check something. I have the investigation recording for the Kermit. I have an exhibition. Not necessarily anything referencing that particular one. Okay, Heathcliff, altercation evidence reel 432. We do have that, and we were looking at image 17. This was in the exhibition, of course. Okay, so that makes more sense for me. So now we're back to the evidence reel. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right in then. Let's jump right in. Oh, wow. Yikes. Okay, somebody's just there. We got a body. Okay. So on the evidence reel, we see footage of a TV that's turned on and a body. Wow. What is that on the bed now? Oh, okay, that's his blood probably. Yikes. So he died really young. I can't tell if those are spent casings. They don't look like it. It's hard to tell. I can't tell if they're used or not, but those are surely bullets. The TV's still on. And Lieutenant Davis is just looking at it. Hopefully he turns it off or unplugs it. There's like a recorder, like a voicemail machine or something. Not entirely sure. Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, he's just sitting there. He's just taking a nap. Got the Panasonic. No, I'm not sponsored by them. Just kidding. JK. It looks like maybe his notebook. Maybe this is when they were collecting the evidence. They didn't show anything about the bullets. I don't know why there'd be so many bullets out there, and they don't seem to be just the casings, right? So I think it's, I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to show there, but that's weird. I mean, obviously, I thought he was shooting. Maybe not. And if he was, then yeah, they would be spent. They'd be all over the place. If they're not spent casing, or just regular full bullets, I don't know why they'd be there. We've got the Holy Bible, and we've got the Reassurances notebook. This is probably the evidence that was collected whenever they ended up saying, oh yeah, we've come to the conclusion that Mark Heathcliff had been paranoid for a prolonged period of time. God bless us all. God bless all. Okay, so they're definitely collecting the evidence. The notebook. So now that's I'm assuming Sergeant Ruth Weaver speaking with Thatcher right now, Lieutenant Thatcher. He's wanting to pursue the case. He's saying, don't worry about it, man. You got a promotion. You don't have to work on that anymore. But he has a lead. And I'm assuming he wants to investigate that lead. He says, I got some evidence to review. That's it. Good police work. This is the police work of Mandela County, okay? Who's this handsome fellow? Got some fingerprints. You know, sadly, my anonymity has been compromised because of my line of work. Previously, before I was a full-time content creator, a struggling full-time content creator, I worked in finance or whatever, and I had to get licensed. And when you get licensed, certain states require fingerprinting. I'm not a real big fan of it, but I had to, right? Because it was my job. But I ended up getting licensed in like the most number of states of anybody in my company. It was like 30 something states. So they all have my fingerprints. So if I commit a crime, everybody's going to know, you know? So that's why I've chosen the high road. No crime for me because of my fingerprints. Otherwise, who knows what I'd do? Oh, well, look at all these comments. I love it. Well, Mark was trapped for multiple days being driven mad. Makes sense to grab a bunch of bullets. I agree with that. But what good are bullets outside of your gun, right? If it's not loaded in the magazine, what are you going to do? Throw your bullets at him? Like, I don't know if he had just spares, right? And he's just hoping, like, man, if I shoot these 10, 12, 17 bullets, depending on what kind of gun you have, I have extras, you know? And maybe that's what he had. But, I don't know. I guess I'm just overthinking it. I'm, like, super, like, in overthink mode right now. GL says, up to this point, we only know about Mark shooting once. I remember hearing the one shot, and I thought that it was Kermit as well. Not sure why there's so many casings. If it is casings, that means he would have fired multiple times, right? Still could have just grabbed a bunch of bullets, even if he only used one for Kermit. True. Very true. Oh, look, an ad. You didn't miss anything. I was just going over the comments. I didn't realize you guys had been chatting, so I'll be much more active in chat as well. Back from the ad. Well, there could have been spares. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe he had spares, right? Maybe he had a full magazine and he was ready to go. We heard the one shot, which we suppose was Kermit, as GL mentioned. But maybe he tried firing multiple times, couldn't do it, and then said, okay, I'm going to turn it this way. Who knows? But yeah. Oh, yeah, and my fingerprints have been compromised by 30-something states. Prints present on the doorknob. Item 12 is the doorknob. So we have proof that his fingerprints were on the doorknob. I don't know how important that is. Probably not too much. This is just kind of basic police work stuff. I guess they're trying to confirm that that there wasn't somebody else there. Wait. Hold on. This is Mark. Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me check something real quick. Oh, we don't know whose name that was. Fingerprints of question mark. So they looked at the doorknob. There were fingerprints present, but we don't have the name of the individual whose prints they were. In this next scene, we then see Mark. And at that point, we see his set of fingerprints. That makes more sense. So now they're saying, oh, there was another party there at his home that opened the door, or at least handled the knob at some point. Interesting. I like it. Spare bullets. I definitely agree with that. I think that was just showing, hey, man, this dude was paranoid. He had plenty of bullets. He was ready. Item number 4 is the gun. So on the gun, we have Mark's fingerprints. We have unknown fingerprints on the doorknob. Item 6, we have a cassette player. And it's collected for investigation. Okay. Their handwriting is about as good as mine right now. My handwriting has only gotten worse. It's now been reduced from like really nice, neat writing to the scribblings of a madman that escaped an asylum. That's what I am now. Now, we have prints on there as well. We also have the prints on item number 13, which we know is the notebook called Reassurance. Reassurances, actually. On Reassurances, he's got the state. It says like "God bless all" or something like that, written across the front. Item number 17 is the camcorder. That good old camcorder that showed the footage that we saw, which the Lieutenant Davis went through and said that was proof of Mark's extended or prolonged paranoia. Again, Mark's prints are present on all of these items so far. The only thing that we don't know about are the prints that were on the doorknob. Points of interest, okay? There's a tape found in camera. I'll call these POIs, points of interest. What are we playing, Fortnite? Oh no, religion. It's so funny when you say it like that. If there's no context, they'd be like, gosh, what's wrong with your chat? Tape found in camcorder. It's called Shadow Under the Door. Okay. POIs related to the camcorder. We have this tape. And it's called Shadow Under the Door. It's going to be so creepy when I move and I'm getting adjusted to the place. I always am a bit uneasy no matter where I like a routine quite a bit. So like when I move and I'm getting adjusted, I'm doing these creepy videos, getting adjusted to the home, like with the different sounds that it makes and the lights and whatever. It's going to be weird because I've been really immersing myself in this creepy stuff. So it's going to be funny. The first few nights. September 14th, 92. We do see the shadow. Oh, what a prankster. I mean, this thing definitely tries to incite fear. And that makes it even worse because it's smart. And it's cruel. Ugh. I don't like how they just came up. Like, the shadow didn't just go off to the side. It went up, which, oh god, that gives me chills. It makes me think, like, does it climb up the wall? Did it levitate? I mean, that's creepy. Ah, it's so creepy. Okay. September 14th, 92. Knocking on door. Shadows. What else? There they go. Dropped right back down again. It's some more impatient knocking. I mean, Lieutenant Davis, you have to see that. Item number 6, the cassette player. We have a point of interest for that as well. I wasn't sure they were going to have them all out of order like this. I kind of went crazy with my notes. They're all messy. Voices outside my room. Okay. Oh gosh, here it goes. Oh gosh. Okay. Oh, I just remembered a scary lore bit that gets brought up in this video. Nice. Can't wait to see it. We're making really good progress. 9 minutes in and a 26-minute video. This is definitely one of the lengthier ones. All of the volumes are pretty lengthy. They're usually 20 minutes or more in length. So I think we'll definitely be able to get through this and the next video and hopefully jump into the original copies as well. What time is it? It's just after 8. So someone's concerned about the time and someone else is saying, oh, don't worry about the time. It almost sounds like something you would hear on TV, like a movie or something. I don't know if this is actual dialogue between two entities. I don't think so. That was interesting. But again, this tape is labeled. So So it's just a cacophony of sounds. We've got lots of voices. And so if these are indeed voices he's recorded outside of his room, then this may be what he's hearing. And so that makes me think, like, I'm going to call him the Smiling Man now because he's not an alternate. So I don't believe he's Gabriel. I don't know. I'm a little confused on that whole piece. But the Smiling Man, the one that appears on the TV, maybe when he captures you, or maybe when he kidnaps the children, he's taking them into the place between realms, right? So whatever's on the other side of the TV, whatever's on the other side of the mirror, that portal or that realm, whatever he's taking them to, maybe they are captured there and they just live there and they become alternates. Maybe that's how you become an alternate. You get taken into that realm, and then living in that new space and those different spectrums changes you. When you try and reacclimate, you look like a monster, whatever. But maybe they say, oh, I'm worried about the time. Oh, don't worry, you have loads of time. And then more and more and more voices start coming. I don't know. That's a lot to think about. Let's see. Is it two or is it one talking to itself to torture Mark? Okay. Another good perspective that I didn't even consider. So, oh man. So these things are capable. They seem, if that's true, Knight of Blackfire, they definitely have some sort of, I mean, they have not only shape-shifting capabilities, they can phase in and out of spectrums. I guess it does make sense because even when in the recordings you can hear the distortion. So it's very possible, yeah, maybe it is just one, just doing anything, like using different scare tactics to just try and say what really presses Mark's button. I thank you for that perspective. I didn't consider that at first. And that would be not creepy if that's something that you'd maybe hear like in a lunchroom or something, but hearing it in this context is very scary. Very, very creepy. Unsettling and unnerving, which is a word and phrase I will continue to use because that just really makes sense. Points of interest, okay. We've got this bad boy right here, POI. God loves me unconditionally. Always remember that no matter the circumstance, God loves all of us simply because he has chosen to do so. He loves me when no one else loves me. I am at peace. Okay. I'm just going to put God loves me. Now, I wonder if the notes are going to get progressively less faithful, and he's going to start kind of unraveling, if you will. Today is a day that I need God's love more than anything. I am alone and need to feel the warmth of his love and reassurance. Remember, the notebook is called Reassurances. And it's almost like whenever you call like reassurances, like that makes me think of like, what are they called nowadays? Like what are they? Oh gosh, I can't think of the term. Like the self-help people. They're like, hey, and you wake up, do 10 affirmations. Affirmations, that's it. And it's like you say, I am awesome, I am beautiful, I am this, I am that, and then it's like those are your positive statements or whatever. Reassurances makes me think of like affirmations or reaffirmations. That's interesting. Oh, good old psychological warfare. Gotta love it. Good stuff indeed. My Lord, I am afraid. I beg for your love and protection against evil. He's getting more and more frightened. He keeps saying he's alone. Okay. I'm assuming it's hard to read, but it says, I have no chance anymore. The cops never came for me. Nobody came for me. Whoever is reading this, please stop it before it does this to anyone else. Who have I been praying to all this time? Who have I been praying to all this time repeatedly. Okay, so he's starting to lose faith. Nobody came for me. Oh gosh. So he's incredibly paranoid now. He's been writing it over and over. Probably, who have I been praying to? Who have I been praying to? Who have I been praying to? Yeah, that's like what my notebook's starting to look like. Loud. My eyes are wide open. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Remember that it says in the mad videos, do not open your eyes even when the man in the corner is inches away from your face. Now he's saying my eyes are wide open. I feel like that's literal and also symbolic of whenever your eyes are opened, you have been exposed to truths you do not wish or desire to know about. And that's what then causes mad, right? So my eyes are open. That to me is an important phrase because I think it has a literal meaning and then a symbolic one, possibly relating to mad. I'm going to say, like, is this mad? Question mark. Ooh, who have I been praying to? Disguises himself as an angel of light. I am your true savior. Oh goodness, now we're going back to that biblical thing again, that theme where we saw the angel Gabriel that was saying that he is the true savior. He even wrote it, and he said it in such a way, it was like in binary code, but he then revealed it to the shepherds. That's something else. Knight of Blackfire also says, exposure to information that is not desired to be known. Okay, so as we go into this possibility of two different factions, if we just say, for one, what if Gabriel, we're gonna assume is an angel, possibly even Satan, he, from the beginning of time, has tried to take over the worship, right? And be like, hey, I want you guys to pray to me. I'm your savior. Pray to me. And maybe after all these years, I'll call it the Smiling Man's faction, maybe they understand and know the truth. Maybe they're somehow tied to Joshua, who we know was bound in chains, and he was concerned that his legacy would be one of foolishness. He was in between life and death. Maybe the state or the place in between life and death is the realm beyond the screens of the TV, beyond the mirrors or whatever. And so now we have the angel, or Gabriel, who's assumed the role of the true savior, but he's fooled the masses. And then we have the Smiling Man and his alternates, which are possibly beings that are tied to Joshua in some way. And so I'm thinking that they might be saying, hey, the alternates and the Smiling Man are saying, hey, when I'm causing you to hear information that does not desire to be known, I'm saying, hey, this whole time you've been worshiping the devil, or hey, you're going to hell, or hey, they're, maybe quote unquote, forgive me, they're saying, oh, there is no God or whatever. And if that was somehow true or whatever, when they reveal that, that's what's making them go mad, and then that's what's making them kill themselves. So maybe if you have Gabriel and the alternates as two different entities and factions, they're trying to say, hey, everything you've been living is a lie so far, and maybe that's what's causing them to go mad. If not, the alternates are simply the Gabriel's demons, or his grunts or whatever, and they're making people commit Kermit, so that they don't go to heaven, right? Because they've mentioned multiple times the Christianity piece. Well, if you commit Kermit, that's a sin. A lot of times, it's not going to be something that allows you to get eternal life or whatever, right? So they're either working together to cause that so that most people die and they don't get saved, or they're working against each other, and unfortunately the knowledge and the revelation that everything's a lie is just causing people to go bad. I mean, to go mad, sorry, and take that action. So they're either working together to cause people to commit crime and basically get as many people as possible to not go to, to not be saved, or they're working against each other, and sadly humans just can't fathom it. They can't understand it, and so that breaks them down mentally, and then they commit crime. And not because it's an intended result, it's just what's happening because, hey, we're fragile. I don't know. Those are my biggest theories right now. I'd actually like to jot that down, so I'm going to put that down right near. Let's see, theory. 2 factions. We've got Gabriel, and then we've got what I'm going to call the alternates, or the smiling man. So we've got these people. They are either allies, and that's causing, let's see, so Gabriel is the one that's lying, true savior, that whole thing. And then the alternates are unveiling the truth, and that causes mad. So they're either allies or they're enemies. If they're allies, then they're trying to force Kermit to prevent salvation. But if they're enemies, then the revelation of the truth is too much to handle. Now, funny thing is, they say the truth shall set you free, but I don't know, right? I don't know about these guys. Anyways, that's just a theory of mine. Those are 2 possible ways these factions are interacting. Let's go back into the chat. What would be a Christian's greatest fear? And those who Kermit aren't permitted into heaven. I wonder what happened to the original Gabriel, if there was one. Possibly the original Gabriel, well, I don't think that's the one that was in the white font that was talking, because he said if there is a God. An angel wouldn't question God's existence. An angel, being directly created from God, would certainly know. Humans, because of all those times past, we now are like, is God real? Is it just a make-believe kind of thing? So I think Joshua more fit that title of the white font, because he's saying, if there is a God, please help me, or whatever. Gabriel could be the one that was speaking there as well, but his questioning of the existence of God is either a lack of faith or just a loss of faith. And doesn't seem, maybe not one that he's like not knowledgeable of. He's just saying like, God, if there is, man, help me out. I know you're there, kind of thing. I don't know. So much to digest. We went off on a tangent there, but I think it was a good one. I think it was a really good one, because we are trying to piece together how these factions coexist. We've got the Mandela Meerkats and the Brighton Bunnies. They are, I don't know, they're playing soccer. And then we got the alternate report. Cesar Torres may display inhuman features. Avoid interaction. So we know that Caesar is an alternate. Mandela County Police Department is now recruiting. Take action. Serve your peeps. 6366 Hill, whatever. Huh, okay. I don't know what they have on their faces. I can't even tell, like, what is this? I thought for a second it was like firefighter gear, and then looking, I don't know, I can't really make out what I'm looking at. Is it like that's a face? I don't know what the hell that is. Oh, that's a face too. Okay. It's the car. So that's a human. That's a human. That's a human. That just looks so weird. I thought that was like part of like a helmet or something. My bad. Told you I'm blind. So we are now seeing An alternate report, specifically, it's for Cesar Torres. And we know, or at least had the idea, that he was an alternate because he called Mark over. And in the non-restored version, you saw that his face then changed to alternate. The restored version didn't necessarily hint towards that as strongly, I don't believe. Hold on, damn it. But Gabriel, from what I remember, was supposed to be the one who met with Mary to tell her about Jesus, right? But he got replaced. Yes, because remember, he's like, hey, I am a blah, 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 and it started like skipping, and then you saw the weird, like, let's call it an alien type face. And then he said, I am the angel Gabriel, whenever the actual name that he was saying was like, you couldn't really tell, and it was redacted. It was like it was then forcibly replaced. So Gabriel should have been the one delivering the message, but instead, maybe this alien, you know, if it is an alien, if it were this other creature, whatever, ended up taking over Gabriel's spot. It makes me think, like, again, is it angels and demons, or is it aliens and angels? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it like spiritual creatures and aliens, or is it just like straight up they're all just spiritual creatures? It could be both, you know. It did show that strange elongated like alien type face, and then he introduced himself as Gabriel, but we know he wasn't really Gabriel. He's just what we call Gabriel because, you know, that's how we know him. But he looks like an alien. Who knows, man? It's so good. This is so good. Let's see what time it is. Sorry, it's only 12. We got plenty of time. Aliens and aliens, maybe. Maybe it's like I'm a really big fan. Hold on, sorry. No, what did I just do? Maybe it's like I said. I'm a really big fan of the Ancient Aliens show, and those theories are really good. They're really fun and entertaining. I have my own personal take on it, but in for the purposes of this video and this reaction and our live theorizing, you know, if what we perceived as angels was actually just encounters with aliens that have been shaping humanity and whatever else, and now we think of those as divine beings because blah blah blah, primitive minds couldn't fathom this and that, whatever, right? If the angels that we're thinking are actually aliens, that could be something where, like how Night of Blackfire is saying, we have one group of aliens that was trying to help us, another group that's trying to hurt us, you know, harvest us, right? Why do they want the children, right? That's abduction. That's, again, an alien type activity. Why are they abducting children, right? So we don't really know at this point in time if it's spiritual creatures and aliens, just plain aliens, or just plain spiritual creatures. I don't know yet. I'm going to put that as a little question as well. So is it aliens or angels or both or neither? Aliens and aliens, maybe. Oh, look, Murray. The Murray altercation evidence reel. So I remember Murray. Let's see. This bro, it's either Adam Murray and Jonah whatever, right? Let me see. Adam Murray and Jonah Marshall. Okay, so we have Murray altercation evidence reel. Now, this was definitely a creepy scene as well, with the cat meowing and everything going on. This is case number 00334. Just one off of 333, which I think is also pretty interesting, if I should say so myself. Viewing intended only for Mr. Davis. Mandela Tech Daily. Viewing, okay, same thing. Well, who is this guy? Dave Lee.
I understand that you were hoping that I would be able to recover the contents of all of the tapes that you sent in, along with your request note. I was only able to recover maybe about 2 minutes from one of them. I'll be copying my recording of it.
So Dave Lee recovered 2 minutes of footage. I'm assuming he's like he works for a company that's, you know, obviously deals with, you know, recovering information from electronics, whatever, right? So tech defect. Oh, an ad. At least this one was skippable. We just met Dave Lee right now. We are now reviewing the Murray altercation evidence reel, case 00334. Dave Lee has recovered 2 minutes of footage, so let's see what he got.
Onto this one right after this. I hope this helps you with the rest of your investigation. If you need any more help, you can call me back or just send me another letter, and I'll be waiting a response.
Seems like a nice guy. I trust him. He's just a worker. Oh, gosh. Is that literally what we're looking at? The might of the subconscious. The might of the subconscious. That's interesting. That's a tough word to spell. Even this guy didn't get it right. So we have someone named Stanley talking. I'm assuming Stanley's the face.
Now, you may be thinking, who is this voice speaking to me through my television set?
Who are you, Stanley?
Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Stanley. It is very nice to meet you. Consider me a friend, because I might consider you one too.
I don't know. I don't trust you, Stanley. You seem like a creepy mofo.
I like having friends.
Is that why you take us all through to your realm? You like having friends? You don't like to be alone? Oh no. I think the bit I was talking about earlier is about to come up. There it is. Stanley. Is it, if it's not stuttering Stanley himself.
Friends do you have?
I don't have any friends. It's a lonely life I live.
Would you like to know a secret of mine? I can make friends appear out of thin air.
Oh gosh. So Stanley is the smiling man. He can make friends appear out of thin air, which again goes into the behavior that we've seen documented for alternates. They exist in different spectrums. Stanley can make friends appear out of thin air. That's interesting. That is very interesting. Can make friends appear out of thin air. He's like, but there's only one thing. I don't. They usually have unusually long limbs or strange faces. That makes me think of they exist on different spectrums. Yikes.
What was that? You want to know how? Well, I can tell you, but you have to promise me that I am one of your friends first.
Presumably he's talking to a child. This could very well be Mark. I don't know. It said, you know, obviously we just spoke with, we heard from Dave Lee, who recovered 2 minutes of footage. I'm assuming this is probably going to be more than 2 minutes of footage. But anyways, the might of the subconscious is what we're currently watching now, and it seems to be like, oh, you would think it's like a TV type program, but he actually responds. So somehow we're able to see at least this side of the conversation.
First, we must consider what makes up a good friend.
Unusually long limbs.
What do they sound like? What do they look like?
They whisper.
What colored eyes do they have?
White.
Always remember the most important rule. If there's a new friend that lives in your head, it is best to
It's best to manifest them instead.
They're just as scared as you.
What?
If there's a
The most important rule. They're just as scared as you are. If new friend in your head, it's best to manifest them instead. That's creepy. The Murray stuff will appear after Stanley, I believe. This is, in my opinion, very important.
new friend that lives in your head,
This does seem very important.
it's best
It seems so out of place that it's definitely a key component.
is best. They're just as scared as you are. Okay. Have a friend in mind.
They are just as scared as you are. That is something else.
Great. I think it's time to meet your new friend.
Okay, jump scare, right?
Close your eyes.
Uh-uh.
I think we really are in love with your new friend.
I am certainly not.
Can you keep an even bigger secret?
Mm-mm.
I think it worked.
Oh, gosh.
Your new friend is somewhere in your house.
Why? Your new friend is in your closet.
Now it's up to you to go and find him.
That's not healthy. Thatcher Davis. It looks like the guy from Nirvana. I don't know why. Thatcher Davis is the cop, the lieutenant.
911, what's the emergency?
He sounds over it. So we have a call between Thatcher and Adam.
You gotta help me. There's someone in my house. I don't know what to do.
This might be the very first instance when, remember how Adam lost somebody? Adam and Jonah both said, oh, we lost, almost everything. They've taken so much from us. And specifically maybe someone, it was a female, possibly a mother, possibly a sister, possibly a lover. And so we don't know when this timeline wise, when this takes place yet. But it could be when he's reporting that very incident. Or this could be, after what we saw, which is highly unlikely. I feel like by then he's lost and dead.
I don't even know what to do. I could make noise and wake this podcast line. Alright, just calm down, okay? We'll get this figured out. Please stay quiet. Are you hiding?
Remember, you're supposed to stay calm and mostly you let them talk, and then once they're done going through the course, you just hang up, right? You're not supposed to reveal your fear. And you're really not supposed to help much if they've reported an alternate encounter.
Does this person have a weapon? I don't know. I can't tell. Is this person threatening you or your family? No, it's stairs in the corner.
That's terrifying. And the funny thing is, I wonder if they would be able to do anything. There's some guy just staring at me. They'd be like, well, he's not actually hurting you yet.
He's not
I'd have lied. I'd have been like, yes, he said he's gonna eat me alive. So Adam had a wife. He had a wife. Now, I thought he was a younger guy, but... Oh, that's creepy. That's strange. He asked, does this man resemble anyone you've ever known? And he says, no, I've never seen anyone in my life that looks like that. And he said, all right, that can't be right. That's huge. That's a very big occurrence there. Does this man resemble anyone you know? And the answer is no. Never seen anything like it. Then Thatcher says, Adam Thatcher. He says, that can't be right. That's interesting. So that must mean that they know about the fact that you can manifest someone that's in your mind. I am so confused. Okay. That's good. This is good. So now she's reporting. I'm assuming that's the officer that's on scene. Oh, okay. Maybe this is why the alternates look so weird. Presumably this is how some are made. Kind of like from your imagination. Yeah, and if you're a child, your imagination, obviously you don't get all the proportions right. Keep note of what is said here. That's not Adam. It's Jude Murray. Oh, my bad. I don't even... Who's Jude Murray? We knew Adam Murray, and there's a Jude. Okay, so there's Jude. My bad. Okay, so... I gotta fix that. Now we have Ruth Weaver answering the phone. There was a female voice in the very beginning of this video, yeah? That connects to this part. Oh. I see. Okay. These details escape me. I'm so glad you guys are here too. What did you get us in? Beep. Redacted. There's chaos right now. Absolute chaos. I like how she said that. That's hilarious. Okay, so timeline-wise, we have... Let me think. If Jude Murray... We had Lynn talking to... Oh my gosh, I got it now. Lynn was talking to Jude. Jude Murray is the divorced or ex-husband of Lynn. Lynn is the mother of Adam Murray. Okay, now I'm getting it. Here's a fact. I gotta put this here. We've got Lynn is the mother. Then we have Jude is the father. And then their child is Adam Murray. He's the baby that was crying. He's also the baby that was kidnapped. That is why he says, they've taken so much from us. Damn it, I'm good. But because of Night of Big Fire. Night of Black Fire. This is presumably taking place around Mark's death. Yeah, we have multiple things occurring. We don't see Adam till 2009. She was distraught at the sight of her missing child. Maybe Adam was one of the missing children. Very, very good. Oh, look, the Kermit house. The Kermit mom, or the hanged woman, is Lynn. And so the baby was Adam. That explains the names anyways, the last names. That is insane. And that's why Jude was so concerned about his wife. He said his wife, obviously, but even whenever something crazy happened, even if you just got divorced, he's like freaking out. I don't know, I think something's happened to my wife. So he came the next day, remember? He came to explore and figure things out. He probably found his wife, missing baby. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we put it together. We put that piece together for sure. That's awesome. Okay. Good stuff. That's why it also shows that Lieutenant Thatcher was on the phone. So I guess at this point in time he hadn't yet been promoted, Oh, Night of Blackfire, we're getting somewhere. This is, like Night of Blackfire said, where the body was being disturbed by an invisible force. Interestingly enough, this is not an alternate, and they now say it's not an alternate because it doesn't resemble anybody that anyone's ever seen before. I'm assuming that somehow when you look at the TVs, when you look at the mirrors, and you try and conjure up your friends as the children and young kids do, that's what creates alternates. This smiling man is a unique alternate in that he was not created by or conjured up by anybody. He exists on his own, regard. Nothing of interest came out of the automated camera setup. We will need to resort to an in-home inspection with Weaver as soon as possible. Okay. And it all ties to the whole point that the person sent to investigate initially said, oh, there's an overwhelming sense of dread, and left. That's the guy that, Weaver so eloquently put he chickened out. This must be Weaver. Weaver sent to conduct in-home investigation. He says, you hear that, right? I don't hear anything. This is good. Is this either TV on or that religious song we've been hearing this entire time? Ugh. And the TV on the floor, man, there's just something about that just creeps me out. Oh gosh, that was the woman. That was it, right? Was that? Oh, it should be right over here. Yep, those are legs. I like how Thatcher sounds like the guy from Bob's Burgers. So there was a 1015 and then a 1056. Those are all probably real codes. Okay, so the camera's down. Camera malfunctions. That possibly means the presence of these creatures, as we all know. I don't know why Weaver has not responded.
Identify yourself.
It's just echoing exactly what he's saying.
This is a police investigation. I need you to identify yourself. Look.
Really hard to make out what it's saying. I mean, the volume's pretty loud and I can't hear anything. Captions aren't picking up any words either.
What do you want?
A lot of distortion. There's certainly voices, but I can't hear what they're saying. Ah, footsteps. Oh, I'm ready for something to just fly at me. Yeah. Okay. Good thing is it's not dark in my living room today. Oh, fudge. You see that hand? That was very Vita Carnis. Very Vita Carnis. So at 20 minutes, 34 seconds, we see an unusually long hand wraps around the corner. Oh, that's creepy. Don't.
Ruth, if you're still in there, I'm gonna find out, okay?
He left. Oh.
Station.
He said, I'm out, Ruth. This is odd because remember, Ruth and Lieutenant Thatcher got a promotion. Every day gets brighter. That's what it says. I can't really tell. It says, is it like property of what? Like, I can't even tell. Maybe property of the Mandela County Police Department? Now, okay, so then Thatcher left. Ruth missing? I don't know. I'm going to put a question mark. Is she missing? Now we're taken to new footage of the Mandela County Police Department security footage. Security camera. What are we going to find here? This seems to be a very similar light to what we saw in the background. Like, oh, actually several streams ago. Like, probably just same yellow lighting, but who knows? Let's see here. Oh, look, the Kermit house. This is a good part, a scary part. Hand. Yeah, that was a creepy, yuck. Vita Carnis kind of like wrap around, like, hey, I'm here. Oh, this is the police department. 6 right there. Your backup is dead. You're the only one. Then he, okay, I'm just writing down all the, we had a 1015, a 1056, a 1078, and a 1018. This is the security camera footage. I'm obviously looking up here, see if something creeps out of the darkness, possibly even here. You know, it'd be terrifying if something just came out of in front of one of the security cameras, and I hate the way that they're toggling. This actually reminds me of the game that I played called Alternate Watch. I have some like a compilation of all the intruder encounters you can have, and some of them are very, very creepy. But I'm just afraid something's gonna be like standing in the corner or like just jump out at you. I'm tense. I thought they would be able to share that, you know, those channels and those waves to be able to communicate with each other across department, across county even. They're like, bro, get off my line. So he's reaching out to all. He's asking for Bythorn, Worksha. I know there's Mandela, there's Bythorn, Worksha, and there's Yonder County. I'm trying to remember if there's any other counties. This boy, he's reaching out to everybody. I took so many notes. I'm trying to see if I have all the counties. I don't know. They're in here somewhere. I definitely wrote them down somewhere. Alright, I'm just waiting for that, for my jump scare. Waiting for something to creep out of the shadows. We hear sound coming from, I'm assuming, like the front desk area. So there's music from front desk. And that is right at 22 minutes and 32 seconds. That is not good. That is not good. That's probably like the reception desk, right? I don't remember this camera moving. It's a moving camera now? I thought it was stationary. Now we hear the sound at 23:07. I'm gonna call it like the outside view. I don't know. It doesn't say what camera it is, so it's hard to tell. But the sound's like accompanying whatever presence is coming. It's on all of them now. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely religious. I forget how it goes. How sweet does it know? Is that Amazing Grace? Is Amazing Grace a religious? I don't even know the lyrics. I'm assuming it is. I am fairly certain. I'm going to put Amazing Grace. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, that was creepy. Yo, man. Oh gosh. How is that even a thing? What the hell is this? Oh, it's coming at us. What is this? No. No way. Thatcher's dead. We've seen the bad decision, Thatcher. Whoo! What was that? Like a shadowy figure drops down, appears and attacks Thatcher. That was terrible. Uh-oh. The way that it moved. Oh. No way. That's Caesar? Oh gosh. I don't want to watch that part again. Okay. Ooh, man, that is something else. Like, he's stretching his face out in a smile. And for some reason, we saw at the bottom it said Caesar Torres, Mark Heathcliff, Ruth Weaver. Is that the people he's eating? I mean, like, what the hell is happening? We see it said Caesar Torres. And then it said Mark Heathcliff. And then it said Ruth Weaver. I'm assuming that's the people it's killed. And all the while it shapes a smile on its face. Oh man, that is dark. Oh, what is this? Wait, did it? Oh gosh, did it just get shot? Okay. And again, you hear the music, classical music playing. It got shot. It definitely got shot. What is happening? Like, what is this? That might be Caesar Torres, right? There's not enough room for the two of us, Lieutenant. Oh gosh. This makes me think of whenever these alternates are being conjured and manifested into this world, they have to take the place of whoever it is they might look like. Maybe that's how they survive longer. There's not enough room for the two of us. We've seen that elsewhere. We have seen that elsewhere. Wow. That scene right there was more than enough. That's the dude, like the... In alternate watch, they're called pure forms. The full shadowy black figures with white eyes. Oh, no. Yeah. No. Go away. Please be 26 minutes 40 seconds so we can end this. Oh, come on. Every day gets brighter until you die, I guess. Back to the eyeball. Oh my gosh. That is a lot. Amazing Grace. Okay, let's catch up on comments. Sorry, I freaking was like consumed by that part. I'm back. Had to bring my dogs in. Good, we're still at the station. Here it is, the reveal. Drat, an ad. It followed him. Yeah, it's Amazing Grace. It got shot. The names of people who got by the alternates. Very true. That was all the names there. He's about to be replaced. What is the purpose of a doppelganger besides the psychological warfare aspect? I'm assuming, I don't actually know, but I'm assuming maybe a doppelganger is like, you know, it looks just like it's like a perfect copy of you. Maybe it is truly to assume your space and to take your place in the world. Maybe, you know, if they're evil. Yeah, that was creepy, man. Volume 333 is the stuff. That's my favorite so far. I'm putting a big star by that. That was insane. Stanley was Leon Rodriguez. Michael Vale, Alex Kisser, Andrew Long. Okay. These are just pretty much the credits. See if there's anything. Ah, there's 20 seconds after that. Want to make sure we don't see anything else. Interesting. So at 26:33, we got a statue of Jesus. That is a lot. And there's something in the bag. Gabriel. Or, yeah, the Gabriel in the bag. Oh my gosh. Then, at 26:39, Gabriel appears. Quote unquote. If that's who you really are. Definitely going to screenshot that. They're returning back to that same imagery. Omori, that's a game I really desperately want to play. I did a poll, and the poll is at the very top of the comments. And I'm assuming that you guys are going to want to play Doki Doki Literature Club instead, which is perfectly fine. That was one on the list as it was. So we could definitely check that out too. Analog Horror, Mandela Catalogue. Not really a message, but I guess I never brought the binary code over. I was like, why did I label it so weird? That's fine. Whenever you're watching scary stuff like that, you often gonna mess that up. Okay. The next thing is Mandela Catalogue. Every day gets brighter. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's take a look at comments. Every day gets brighter. Now keep in mind that this is the motto for the Mandela, I guess, County Police Department. So that's interesting. Whew. I think there's a end credit scene. I think that's the guy who put on an upside down cross. I'm not very knowledgeable about my own religion, to be honest. Oh, look, Omori. I picked Omori. Interesting post-credit scene. Oh, look, it's Gabriel. Yeah. That is a lot. There's just so much going on with this. I love this. Like, this is so much fun. If I could just, you know, the funny thing is, what I want this channel to become is almost 100% just us doing this. Like, interacting with these different analog horrors, with these different ARGs, and just 100% doing them like this live. Like, I want the channel to be that. But right now, there's still so much of a following. Even those channels are relatively small. There's still so much of a following that still wants like my video game guides. Like I do a lot of guides and I do some challenge runs. I really wanted the challenge run thing to pick up, and although to me it's not really worth it because although I typically do the challenges anyways, none of them have really performed well. So it's like the challenges take so much time. You know, like it might take a week or two to beat a game doing a certain challenge run and then to get like 100 views on it. I mean, it literally like, or less than 100 views. It doesn't make a lot of sense because of the time. So I've been pushing that further down the priority and focusing more on this content, which is fun. It's not performing much better, but to me it's so much more fun because of the engagement. So I'm thinking what I would want to do is keep going towards the direction of like these live theories and these live interactions and reaction videos, and then maybe do like supercuts of them on as videos and maybe guides on how to navigate. Like this is pretty straightforward, but certain ones like Happy Meat Farms, which I talked about in the past. So maybe that will be kind of the way that I can replace the video game element, like just the pure video game element of it. That way I can get away from like Dark Souls and stuff. I love those games. I'm still going to play them and stuff. And even there's certain games that in the next few months I'm going to be featuring on the channel. But I do want to transition more and have more of a focus on the horror aspect of it. And I still will feature games that I just like and whatever in general. But I want there to be a big focus on this stuff. Because this is so fun. This is like the best genre I've ever really explored on channel in such a long time. So I really want to, make the channel kind of around this kind of content. But I have to also make it like where it makes sense in terms of performance, so I can like eat. But I'm thinking if I can continue shifting in this direction, everyone is going to start liking this more. They're going to start, maybe we get more interaction, whatever, and that'll help. But I'm thinking, I'm going to stay away from the challenge runs. I'm going to do a lot of these live reactions. If I do a live anytime during this time period or time slot, it'll be like a horror type game. And then when there's new releases like games I want to play, for example, like Armored Core, the Final Fantasy 16 coming out in June, and even the not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Like those are certain games that I just have my eye on. And I don't have Twitch anymore, so I definitely would like to play them on this on somewhere. So it makes sense to put them on this channel. But I do want to kind of focus more on this kind of content because it's just so good. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. It's just so fun to me. I really do like this stuff. I love it. I love it. But anyways, as we... Education's a good thing. Boop. But yeah, as we continue kind of... exploring more and more of these, I hope it picks up, and so that more and more people can engage with it and start interacting with it, because this is by far my favorite kind of content to make on this channel. I love my theories, but this one's just really fun, just kind of experiencing it and figuring it out, or trying to figure it out live. Thoughts about the ordeal. Okay, we have a little tape here. Thoughts about the ordeal. And I'm assuming, what ordeal? The ordeal where Thatcher got eaten alive by that smiling man, by the alternate?
Stop till they've taken everything.
That sounds like Jonah.
Everything I loved.
Maybe.
Everything I cared about is gone.
That's Jude. Judah. Jude.
I'm scared. But I can't show it. I can't show any fucking weakness, because if I act human, if I act like this is fucking bothering me...
Lieutenant Thatcher Davis.
They're gonna lose hope. Everyone's gonna blame me for this. Everyone doesn't know what to do.
Hold on, what? So this must be the lieutenant talking instead. He does sound like the Bob's Burgers guys, that's right. So this is Lieutenant Thatcher talking. Okay. So this... He's narrating.
No one knows what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. I can't be
What?
the man everyone wants me to be. I'm tired. I feel like I haven't slept in so long.
Me too, man. Welcome to the life of a content creator. I'm enjoying it. Yay. Good. And that's all it takes, man. If one other person other than me is enjoying it, then it's a success. After this video, that'll be everything that I actually know. That's Thatcher, I believe. You're right. Yeah, I was mistaken. I didn't realize it. At first, I thought it was Jonah. But then I got that Bob's Burgers vibes again. And then I definitely was like, oh, that's Thatcher all day.
Nobody knows what we're doing.
Those are spent casings. I mean, he shot the shite out of that thing. Now, keep in mind that it looks like, I'm assuming what we saw previously was Thatcher dying. Because, bad decision, Thatcher. We've seen that same phrase before, too, when Mark Heathcliff died. But he seemed to have been, like, attacked. He was then changing his face to make the smile gesture, or a smile face. And then he got shot. And he recoiled. But then he seemed to still be okay. So, I mean, this dude, he shot. Okay, let's see. He busted some caps. 1, 2, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We'll call that 1, 14, 15, 16, 17. He shot like 19 times. That's a lot. It appears to be.
These missing people, and they blame us for not finding them, but we don't know where the fuck they went. They don't realize that we're in the same fucking boat as they are.
I'm glad they changed. Like, so there was a time when you couldn't say the F word. There was a time when you could say whatever the hell you wanted on YouTube. I've been through like so many phases of YouTube's tolerance with language and all kinds of different imagery and things like that. Now, essentially, you can still be, there was like, so during the time when like a lot of creators stopped creating content because they couldn't, they were like, oh, everything is getting demonetized. Years later, actually just a few months ago, they changed it to where now you have the policy to where you can use, profane language. You just can't use it within the first 7 seconds. It was changed even months prior to that where you would get limited or none if you said it too much. Now they're saying, well, you can say it, but you can't say it after in the first 7 seconds. If there's any kind of like questionable imagery, like graphical violence, gore, etc., in 7 seconds, or language like strong curse words in the first 7 seconds, that would impact your ability to get monetized. Now, as long as it's after 7 seconds, you're pretty okay. Like, you're pretty good. So that's why, they're dropping the F-bomb quite a bit, but I'm like, this should be all right.
That thing took something from me.
What did it take, sir?
I feel
Oh no, a TV. Yeah, there's a bunch of TVs. There's a lot of them. That's Thatcher, I believe. That's the scene in Mark's room. It appears to be, yeah. Oh no, a TV. Yeah, it appears to be Thatcher. Depending on when the thoughts about this ordeal tape is taking place, is it immediately after Mark Heathcliff's evidence, the taking of Mark Heathcliff's evidence? Is it now that he's an alternate and it's taking place after the fact that he's been transformed? When is this? The timeline is very tricky as well. Oh, gosh.
seeing a perfect copy if you just
That is not a perfect copy.
walk away. Back out into the world.
What?
No one's answering. No one's telling me what's going on. I'm gonna kill this thing if it's the last thing I fucking do. I'm alive.
What?
But part of me doesn't want to be.
Yikes. So it's pretty much Thatcher talking about his mental distress, really, and the situation he's in, and his mission to kill the alternate. Now, sadly, we know that's not what happened or how it played out, but at least his heart was in the right place. Let's start over again. Every day gets brighter. Okay, that is playlist number. We've completed the full Act 1. So that's Act 1. I think we're now to move on to the original copies. And then from original copies, we'll move on even further to, I guess, I don't know where the makeshift promos or TMC extras come into play, but I would like to know that. So we have TMC Act 1, original copies. I don't know about promos or extras. And then Act 2. Is Mystifying Oracle part of the Mandela Catalogue? I'd imagine so, because you have a Ouija board there. A lot of times those have to do with, like, whatever. Like, you're perceived to be, like, even though it's a Milton Bradley kind of game now, too, but it has to do, like, with summoning stuff, talking to spirits, whatever. The Exorcist, for example, had, that has actually, all these spiritual demonology type movies have some sort of Ouija board thing to it, too. Kind of neat. Anyways, I digress. Original copies. We'll go into these unless anyone protests. But then I would like to know, if possible, guys, if you can help guide me on whether we watch the promos or extras next. Like, when do we watch the promos and extras? Okay, so we have TMC Act 1, original copies, promos, extras, Act 2, and Mystifying Oracle. Is that even part of the AR analog horror? I don't know. Original copy. Let's see what the chat is talking about. Looks like Thatcher has a doppelganger. The Hooded Man. Yeah, the Hooded Man was actually really interesting. The Hooded Man, though, I don't know if it's the same Hooded Man that we've seen before, but remember that Mark saw a Hooded Man. Interestingly enough, if that was his doppelganger, the Hooded Man, I was wondering why he said, and he's like, does it look like anyone you've ever seen before? And he said, no, that can't be right. Like, there's so much going on. All these little details are just like pins in my brain. Let's see. GL says there may be 2 or 3 people who have watched Mandela more than me. I can borderline quote the whole series. That's hilarious and awesome, by the way. Man. Looks like that's just double. Yep. Presumably it took his place at the station. Oh. So that one that was reporting the on the tape called what is it called? Thoughts About the Ordeal. Are we assuming that Thoughts About the Ordeal was recorded by the alternate? Is that what we're saying? Night of Fire Blackfire says that's Act 1. Now there's only original copies in Act 2. And yeah, original copies is next. I don't think it's part of it. Okay. Let's jump into original copies. If you can clarify for me, please. I'm not as smart as I say I am. Are we assuming that the Thatcher that was talking on the Ordeal recording was an alternate? Or that we're just saying in general there was an alternate that he was aware of that he wanted to kill? The Hooded Man, right? What is that? Okay, so Encounter A V1. This already looks kind of creepy. Encounter A V1. All right, let me check chat, and then we'll jump into the other original copies. The promos are literally just promotions. Okay. Not important to watch, but they're still fun. Okay, cool. Well, that can be like a little bonus we do at some point. Knight of Blackfire says, we're assuming the tape was made by the real Thatcher. Okay, I was too, because, I mean, for the alternate to not be distorting the footage, one, is weird. And then for him to be, like, sob-storying about it is kind of weird, too. Like, I'd imagine they'd be much less emotional. So I agree. That's the real Thatcher. As it makes sense if he wants to kill the doppelganger is because besides being a doppelganger took his place at the station. Making it so the real Thatcher has to hide. Oh. Oh, okay. That's making more sense. That's why he's all stressed out. It probably followed him from Mark's place, right? Maybe, I don't know. And then, man, that's a lot. And so then he's like, "Hey, I'm like, I gotta kill this thing." Super stressed out about it. Yada yada yada. Next thing you know, he goes to investigate with Ruth. Ruth also gets killed. Then whatever that long arm creature was, I'm assuming the thing that he saw in that tunnel came out, and that's what ended up killing him. You know, the funny thing is, the hooded man looked a lot like the creature that killed him too. I did. I mean, with the updated face, because in the non-restored version, the hooded man looks like, I don't know, just like a burglar or whatever, slightly distorted. But the hooded man in the video we just saw with the ordeal recording, that looked a lot like the smiling creature that was in the tunnel that he shot. Weird. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. The victims. Is this Mark and Caesar? Yep, sure is. Okay. So we have Mark and Caesar. Caesar is like on a wanted alternate report list now.
Hey, it's Caesar. I hope it's not too late.
No, it's fine. Don't worry. What's up? Are you alright?
This seems to be just the transcript of the original conversation we saw. That's fine.
Yeah, it's not me, it's my mom. She's knocked out home, but I have no idea why. I'm on my way to the ER, but could you do me a favor?
Yeah, of course. What is it?
I just need you to come over and turn on the cameras we have set up. You know the ones that we installed on?
Like I said, you know how I feel about your house. That's the part that I'll never forget. Chug. I gotta hydrate. I don't drink enough water. I don't drink sodas. I don't even really drink alcohol much. I don't drink like juices or anything. I just drink water, but I hardly drink. I don't consume enough liquid. It's terrible. I need to do more.
Oh, yeah. Would you mind if I asked why?
What?
Well, she screamed really loud right before I found her on the ground. I just...
Well, do you have your doors and windows locked? Like what the broadcast told us to do?
Yeah, that's the weird part. Maybe she saw something?
You know, interesting enough, the alternates, if we assume Caesar's an alternate, they have pretty decent speech. I mean, like, they're able to emulate all of that, just like the woman knocking on the door with Mark, just like the various voices that they constantly use. I mean, they're really good at impersonating humans. He could be in the process of making itself look like Thatcher. Could be. I haven't seen these videos, so this is all new to me. Okay, this looks kind of like the transcript.
I don't know.
Alright. I mean, it shouldn't be too bad. I'm just gonna switch the mind and get out of there now. You know how I feel about your house.
Yeah, that's fine. One last thing.
I'm gonna see if there's anything different. Try to get a good view of the back hallway. Here's what's important, okay? Damn, I got chills just thinking about this. Caesar is an alternate. Caesar says try to get a good view of the back hallway. He knows that Mark is afraid of dark hallways. Remember? Or remember whenever he had to wake up and go to his mother's room, he had to go down the stairs and he saw the dark corridor, the dark hallway, and there was a hooded man in the corner just staring at him. Caesar specifically said, try to get a good view of the back hallway. That would incite that fear that he had from years and years ago. And that then probably allowed him to cling on to him, so to speak, and follow him from Caesar's home to Mark's home. That's my opinion. Like, so the fear is the manner in which they can attach themselves onto you and then track you, so to speak. I think that's huge. I didn't even realize that the first time, but I'm just going to put that. Try to get a good view of the back hallway. And we know that that's creepy. That's Mark's fear based on the toddler stress assessment results. So, I mean, I think I'm on to something there. He's getting him to feel that fear, which then allows him to cling on to him, so to speak. Stay hydrated. They already know Mark's fear. Makes sense. That's a good theory. Yeah, I mean, maybe just by mentioning that to him, it's like that subconscious, like, you know, like if you freaking, like, I'm afraid of roaches and rats. So if you said something about that, I'm like, oh god, that makes me uneasy. You've kind of primed me. It's just like you say, psychological warfare. Something in psychology, that was actually what I studied a long time ago. I was pre-med and I was gonna be a clinical psychologist. But anyway, so priming is whenever, like, say for example, this is the best example. I love this example. I use it all the time. Say you go watch an action movie and you have like a hero that's shooting everything, he's punching everybody, he's kicking everybody's ass, and it's like awesome, and he's like a real badass. When you walk out of the movie, you're like, damn, like, you're like, man, I want to do that. I want to save the world. I want to do something cool like that. That's priming, right? That's what priming is. So you're like mentally primed because you've been immersed to that kind of stimulus. So you're like, yeah, that's kind of where I'm in right now. It's a part of immersion, right? Anyway, so he's probably getting him prepped, right? Priming him up for fear. Hey, something really weird happened to my mother. I won't be there. You'll be alone, but turn on the cameras for me. Bo, make sure you get a good view of the back hallway. Why? If she was in the living room, or I don't know where she was found. She was found on the ground, I guess. It didn't say specifically where. But why would you say that, right? That's huge, knowing then that we see this stress assessment where it says he's specifically afraid of that when he was 4 years old. So, I don't know. I might be going a little too deep into it, but on your cell phone in the 90s, right? Which makes no sense. Makes no sense at all. This is then when we've now clarified, right? This is Mark on his camcorder that he always has with him, returning home. So all the subsequent footage should be of his security cameras he has set up in his home that show the staircase. I think now this one has the living room, I'm assuming, because the restored version had the living room. The shed. There should be a few things that it covers here. I'm not sure, as it pertains to the original copies, if this is anything new yet. I haven't seen anything new. Other than me watching it for the second time did allow me to see that detail about the hallway. But in general, it's about the same. Nothing's been added so far. Maybe some of the other original copies document other encounters that will give us more information. What's happening? He's opening his door. Now we kind of get the pan of the security cameras. We have this one, the staircase, the shed, the back hallway. I'm just kidding. I mean, that certainly is the back hallway, but... Oh, gosh. stairwell, the shed. They don't have the living room in this one. The restored version does have a living room security camera as well. In the alternate watch game, there is a scene that looks exactly like this, and there's an encounter that can happen with this door. It's pretty creepy. If you guys want to check that out, it's in my guides. Alternate watch. It's like a all intruders compilation. That was pretty fun. I mean, it was okay. It's not like an amazing game, but it's just kind of cool. There's the shadow on the shed. Not a gravestone. Remember how people had assumed that it was a gravestone? I think that was what chat was saying. Yeah, that sounds like you just heard. Makes it seem like he just left the house. Yep, it does. Staircase. He's moved away from the shed. To me, like, that might be like, I don't know, the garage door, or like, or something, you know, the mud room or whatever, right? So maybe he came from like outside, he passed by the shed, came through like this back entrance, and maybe this is kind of like documenting like the path through the house that he takes. The door is open. Camera 2, basement entrance, has been disabled. That's new. That's new. I don't remember seeing that at all. Camera 2. We'll call that the basement entrance, which then confirms what I'm talking about. That was probably a second entrance. Was disabled. That's really interesting. Getting some additional like context here. And that's just because the presence, remember? I don't think like that they're out, you know, messing with the cameras. It's just because they live in these different spectrums, they interfere and cause distortion with electronics. Now camera 3 is similarly disabled. That's the backyard. I'm assuming the backyard is what we keep calling the shed. So that was also disabled. This seems new. I don't remember this. And I usually have a decent memory. Flash battery low. Please don't flash. Oh, okay, hold on. Yo! I already know what it is. Okay, that's fun. 4:33, we got... Oh, it's saying something. I can't understand it, though. I didn't know I didn't have CCs on. No! I am in your house at all times. Did you guys read that? No! Okay, new stuff. Ooh, a change. Yeah, that's new. It took out the basement entrance cam, then the backyard cam. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. The order of it doesn't make sense necessarily. Because you would think that the backyard was like where the shed image was. So you'd assume he came from the backyard through that basement door entrance. So you'd think outside to then inside. Somehow it's like basement door, backyard. I don't know if they thought about that. Yikes. Okay. That's a face. Oh, speech? Yeah, it is. Oh, gosh. Okay. I am in your house at all times. That is just so comforting. He said something else, but I couldn't catch it. It's very difficult to understand what he's saying. I look in the shadows even in your what? In your bedroom? Cranking this up. Sorry if it kills your guys' ears. We gotta hear this kid. I am in your house at all times. I watch your every move. I think he's saying I lurk in the shadows. I lurk in the shadows. Thank you, YouTube captions, for sucking. I lurk in the shadows. Even in your bedroom. Well, I am creeped out. Have you ever the eyeballs, man. Have you ever noticed? Oh gosh. Ugh. Creepy, man. Well, that's new. That's certainly new. Ugh. Mark soliloquy? I don't think that's how you spell soliloquy, but I'm not going to challenge that. Whew. Okay. Marks? That can't be how you spell that, right? I'm going to write it the same way, though. Soliloquy. Mark's soliloquy. It's like a type of poem or something. I don't know exactly what, but I just don't remember seeing it spelled that way. Wowzers. I lurk in the shadows is what he was saying. Yeah, this is why every door needs a lock. Back up a sec. Man, even without being a Christian, this is like my greatest fear. Just having something hanging in my house and I can't find where. Yeah, like some lingering presence that even if it's like, whether you even are aware of it or not, it's there. And it's not a good presence. So that is very scary to me. This is why everyone's lot. I lurk in the shadows. I'm hearing bedroom. Same. Oh yeah, it does sound like lurk. Is that a window? It looks like a window. I wonder if it's that basement window that it looks like there's definitely well, we have confirmed that he has a basement entrance, so there's certainly a basement. But remember that window that he was recording on his camcorder, and it was just a regular shot, and then later in the video near the end you saw like a black figure that was like kind of drooping over it. It was a really strange, like, I don't know, it was just a strange like shape. It wasn't really even like a creature looking thing, but it must have been one sort of like whatever shadowy figure or something. I don't know, but something was there that wasn't before. This could be that same window. There are no closed captions for this.
You have one new message.
Hey Mark, I just wanted you to know that everyone misses you very much. Please call when I was back. I was very worried.
So there's just a voicemail expressing concern about Mark. We don't know the timeline of this yet. Is it after his disappearance? Is this just one of his paranoid little phases he's going through, or what? Okay, so this is after the conversation with Caesar when he's turned on the lights. I'm sorry, the security cameras, and he's returned home. He's now aware that the alternate has followed him home. This text here originally appeared like this, but we learned that it was also something he wrote in his reassurances notebook. and followed me home, Caesar. Ooh, I don't like this lady. I will not hurt you. Oh, yeah, what? Whatever. This part was literally the most creepy. When they restored it, it wasn't as bad, but it was more like unnerving because it was really, really dark. And then you saw like the figure with white eyes. That one was very creepy. But this here is what scared me the most out of any other video. Video that was on the Mandela Catalog, like Mandela. Why do I call it Mandela Catalog? What is Mandora? I keep thinking, I don't know why I keep saying that. Mandela Catalog. Anyways, this is the video that creeped me out the most because you have like this motherly woman type voice and she's knocking really impatiently and then she's, oh, I'm gonna give you a present. It's like, that's just yikes, man. Like, that is nightmare fuel. I do not want to see what is on the other side. That basement window, I think, was in the church. That might be his sister. Oh, maybe the voice the alternate was using was meant to be Mark's sister. That makes more sense than it being Caesar's mother. Wow. Yeah, that's creepy. Mark is 17 during all of this, according to the beginning of the previous video. Yeah, he's a youngster. 17 and Caesar's 18. It sounds like a motherly voice, though. I mean, the sister looked younger, but it could just be the voice actor, right? We could be thinking too much into that. Or it could actually be Caesar's mother. I don't know. Yeah, it could also be his own mother's voice. Yeah, very true. It sounds motherly to me. Like, you know, like, oh, I got a surprise for you. Like, that's something you'd say to your children. In that way, that playful kind of tone. But it has been days. Man, and nobody has come to help me. What is life really worth? I don't remember him saying that. This is maybe the soliloquy. I don't remember him saying, what is life really worth? When all I can do is confront it all alone. What would you do, you know? Like, I mean, I'm pretty mentally resilient. I've dealt with some crazy stuff in my life, but I don't know. Like, knowing that this creature's trying to break you down, do you just hold out? I mean, you don't. What about food? What about whatever else, right? It doesn't seem like you can overpower them because they live in different spectrums. So I don't think physical means of I don't think you can harm them physically. So it's like, what do you do? You know, like at the point where like, yep, I'm nearing starvation and, you know, whatever, thirst, deprivation, dehydration, whatever you want to call it. Do you confront it? Or do you just die of starvation? Especially knowing it cannot be harmed. That's new. Okay, that is new. So at 118, he starts saying new stuff. More new content. Okay, so what was the first thing he said? He said, what was it? What's it all? What is life really worth? That's all I really want. What is life really worth? I'm not going to write everything down, but it's just the fact that he's questioning that when all I can do is confront it alone. I don't know, man. Oh, gosh. Bad idea, Mark. I don't like this. The footsteps, man. That's what gets me. Like, that's the thing, like, for me. is when you hear all those crazy footsteps, and it's like they're approaching you. That just terrifies me because I immediately go in like I want to punch something mode. Like fight or flight, if you will. I don't flight. I want to punch. So it's like, oh gosh, but I definitely feel fear, right? But my response is like, ah, instead of like, ah. It's like a ah with a punch. Ah, I hate the footsteps. Okay, he did shoot. Uh-oh, bad decision, Mark. The same exact. It mirrors what we saw. Uh-oh, bad decision, Lieutenant Thatcher or Thatcher. Okay, we're gonna hear the footsteps. We're gonna see the face. We got it. Let's go. We got it. Face. What's chat doing? Let's talk with you guys while I'm, trying not to creep myself out. Seeing how I could get past the content, waiting for Doki Toki, I probably wouldn't make it long. Oh, seeing how I couldn't get past the content, waiting for Doki Doki, I probably wouldn't make it long. So it's 92. I don't want to see this face. He's got the Darth Vader breathing. I have a gift for you. That's new. That is new. I have... Now, if anybody ever says that to me, like, I'm going to immediately punch them. Like, so thank you, Alex Kister, for ruining my ability to receive gifts. Yo, that's a little bit less redacted. That's Kermit all day, right? The previous 2 days, he was probably busting caps, like shooting at the door. Well, he wasn't shooting at the door because we'd see bullet holes, but nobody came for me. That was in his reassurances thing. And now I'm free. That's interesting. And now I'm free. Creepy laugh. Creepier laugh. And, okay, that's terrifying. So, yeah. Excellent. What is my green screen doing right now? I'm just so curious. The lighting has changed so much. Am I like disappearing? Oh, hey, I'm like here. It's like, okay. Nice. Very nice. I always am worried about how weird it's going to look. So it's 1992. We have the year 92 and the year 2009. We should see censored mark now. He seems like it prevented... Oh, it seems like he prevented him from calling anyone. So that's what that is. So he was trying to call people, but really, no one's coming for me. No one's answering me. No one's checked on me. It was preventing him from making the calls. That's interesting. I'm going to put, was he prevented from making calls? I love the insight. Like, that's really good. That makes me believe, yes. I always forget. Like, from when I do theories and stuff, I usually have to. I look at the notes I've gathered, depending on what the medium is. I look at the footage that I've captured, or whatever, and then I piece it all together. I look at ways to poke holes through it, and then I sometimes, like, depending on what the theory is, I try and tie it to like whatever the rules of the world are and the universe we're in. So in this universe, the Mandela Catalogue, we know that these alternates have impact, these electronic devices and stuff. So those are things that I sometimes I forget while I'm just live experiencing these things. But that's really good because that definitely makes sense. Like that sense of loneliness, how it often separates two people that might be communicating through electronics. It's always a way to make them feel alone, which, whenever you're in a scary situation, enhances your fear, right? So that's cool. I like that a lot. Here we have the emergency call operator training. I think this is video 3 of 5. It's 1:30, so I have like another 30 to 40 minutes or so. Emergency call operator training. Okay, so I'm assuming we're going to have some additional clips or something in here that gives a little bit more insight. Remember, we can't view this footage as punishable by law. Reason being is because it's from Mandela County Police Department, and it's saying don't help people that have alternate encounters. And it's even pretty much signed off on by Lieutenant Davis. Mandela County Police Department training video. My cat is going crazy. She probably sees an alternate. She just keeps making creepy noises. We should see some blah blah. After all, they do affect cameras and appear in TVs and other reflective mediums like mirrors. Yep, makes sense they can affect phone signals, especially with the spectrum thing. The spectrum thing makes me think of primarily light spectrums, right? That's like where it would come from. But spectrums, like obviously, like the other things that travel in like, or that have like wave type form other than light and stuff, like sound, right? So I mean, it's got to impact whatever. I guess. Oh, I was mixing that up with the singularity from the Vita Carnus, because I was gonna say we know that it emits electromagnetic signals. Never mind. No, we don't. I'm getting my analog horrors mixed up. But yeah, I would say that yes, if it does exist in different spectrums, and it has all these different impacts on electronics, whatever else, it's very likely to negatively impact a phone signal, which probably operates very similarly. So yeah, I don't think it's too far-fetched to think that. Wonder what's different in this one. Let's find out. This is a nice short one. This will allow us to get through the other two.
A situation may occur where the local 911 dispatchers run out of operators to handle calls, so they are given to assist.
Lovely.
There are 3 and only 3 scenarios.
3 and only 3.
Handle with the caller.
Police, fire, and medical. And then alternate encounter.
When the caller needs
I like how he's like peeling out. He's like, skirt. Very old school cop car. Definitely 80s, 90s cop car there.
When the caller has a fire-related emergency, contact our neighboring fire department with the address and a brief description of the event.
Brief description. And then medical, and then after medical, we should have the alternate encounter, which is the one that's kind of hush-hush.
When the caller has a medical emergency, immediately contact the Mandela Community Hospital.
Maybe this is a new MAD presentation. 116, we have an error.
Here at the Mandela County Police Department, we thank you for viewing this instruction.
Okay. This is all following suit. Do not help a caller reporting an alternate encounter. No matter how frantic their screams are. Calmly reassure the caller that help is on the way. We don't have much time left. The call can be ended when they stop responding to your questions. This has to be it. Do not speak too much. You might reveal your fear. When we have to have something happen, because if not, it's the exact same. Okay, just like I predicted.
Nothing is worth.
Nothing is worth the risk. Nothing is worth the risk.
The risk. Nothing is worth 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 the risk. Nothing is worth.
Okay, well, there's nothing different there. That video was identical, was it not? I even remember them saying nothing is worth the risk. Now remember, there were two versions of that video we saw. So the one we just saw, might have actually been part of the restored version. And because we watched the restored version, volume 1, that's why we saw it. That's why it might be identical to us. But I think if we watched the non-restored version of volume 1, it was a much choppier introduction to the frantic screams thing. Don't reveal too much. Don't reveal your fears kind of thing. So I think that was essentially just the one he ended up including in the restored version. So here we have trauma. Let's see what chat has to say about that. LO ad. Missed the last 12 seconds. Yeah, it was exactly the same. The only thing that I was mentioning is that this is probably the version that he used in the restored volume 1 of the Mandela Catalogue. Because remember, we watched the unrestored version, and it had like some like more choppy, less like a little more choppy editing and stuff like that. And then that particular video though about the police call dispatch or whatever, it had a cut that then skipped over to, hey, if there's an alternate encounter, like don't reveal anything. It didn't really say much more than that, and it was kind of short, and it was done. And the restored version, it had a much better, like, ooh, there's an error, and then it was like tampered with kind of thing. And now we have in the encounter step 4, which is the actual first step, because he said there's 3 and only 3 steps. Now we have a step 4, alternate encounter, do not help, don't really provide help. And then at the very end, when he just starts from nothing is worth the risk, nothing's worth the risk, nothing's worth the risk, I think that was just the new one technically, but because we saw restored version volume 1, it's not new to us. So I think that technically it's the same one we've seen in the restored version. So no difference yet. I don't know what trauma is. Is this the toddler stress assessment? It is. So trauma is this video here. Record your child's responses to the following media. Maybe we'll see. I bet there won't be any change to this one either. I bet it'll be the exact same version of the one that's included in volume 1, just like the emergency call operator training video. And the hooded man will probably be better quality. That's the way to tell. That's the way I'll be able to remember anyways, because I don't recall all of the different tests. I know there's like a bird, a cat, and nature sounds. But I think that the restored version had better option, like better editing again. And it might be that this playlist was separate, and then he ended up remaking volume 1 after the fact. Laughing creepy baby, why are you so happy? Hydration. Was that a goat or a sheep? Farm animals. And this is where it gets creepy, right? No, this is where we see stuff, I think. Oh, no, the story. Daddy didn't tuck me in. And there's a man in the closet. Thanks, Dad. Oh, now we know why. No. I was tying Mark Heathcliff's account with Adam Murray's account, because I was saying, well, now we know why he didn't tuck him in. They're divorced. But no, we don't know Mark Heathcliff's parents' situation. Is this new? No, it's not. This is his book, The Scary Night by Mark, age 4. Again, this is where we'll kind of be reminded of Mark's fear of the the dark hallways. Mandela Elementary School. Grade 4K. I'm not even sure. Like 4K, like high def? Or maybe like pre-kindergarten or something. Daddy didn't check under my bed last night. That asshole. Daddy's a jerk. So I went to Mommy's room. I was scared. There was scary knocking on the door. And the scariest part is walking by the dark room by the stairs. So again, that kind of reminds me of the back hallway that Cesar Torres was telling Mark to get a good view of for whatever reason. Me. Dark stuff, scary. And then, I don't know. Oh, the painting on the wall. That's a really good diagram. Almost at Mommy's room. Then I saw the man in the corner. This is where we'll find out which version of this video that we're watching based on the detail of him. The hooded man. And are they... So we've seen the hooded man. We've seen the man in a hood that looked like that was in that video for the ordeal, thoughts on the ordeal for Thatcher. I mean, are they all the same? And then I fell asleep. The end. Happy. I'm glad it ended happily. Sorry, I punched the microphone. Section 2. These are the visual responses, I think. Cat. Yeah, this is the new one. Happy. Family. Balloon. That makes everybody happy. The remake of Volume 1. Oh, okay. The remake of Volume 1 came out 3 weeks ago. See the intruder at age 4 gets Kermit at 17. Yep. Wowzers. Yeah, Trauma and the last one are identical. Okay, no worries. So was Emergency Call Operator Training. Yeah, so Emergency Call Operator Training and Trauma are the same. So that I get what you're saying. I read it wrong. So maybe the final video will be something new as well. But these are just the restored edition versions that were utilized in that updated version of Volume 1, I think. That's the original. I guess that's why it's called original copies, right? Yeah, I don't like... See, this right here, like, the fact that his eyes are so massive almost looks reptilian. And then he's got, like, I don't know, is that blood? What is it? What are these blemishes? Is that blood? Whoo! I don't like that. An intruder. Module complete. Yep, we already know about this. This is going to be the exact same, so I'm just going to put identical for that as well. Is this the last one? Yeah. The Mandela Catalogue Think Principle. The Think Principle. Alright, let's see what's different about this one. The United States Department of Temporal Phenomenon, 1981. That's when that was established. Okay. Last one of the playlist. Tempus fugit means time is fleeting. Almost means like to me, time's running out. I don't know. Another thing that's really weird to me is like, this is like Roman numerals, right? So that's 12. And that's 1, 2, 3. That's not 4. Like 4 is IV. So that's weird. Let me see the rest. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, the rest are normal. That's weird. That's not how you do Roman numeral 4. I'm just gonna... I don't know if that's a thing. That's weird. Could just be that he didn't know Roman numerals. So 1981, then 1992, then 2009. Yep, those are the major dates that we have available to us. Let's see. So what is that? 11 years, then 8, then a lot, then 17 years. So yeah, I don't know. I suck at
We are
math.
currently receiving countless reports of an unidentified hostile organism that will refer
Organism.
to as alternates. Until we have a complete understanding of the threat, it's important to stay home.
Until we have a complete understanding of the threat. So as early as 1981, there's still, it's new, but they don't understand it fully yet. My thing is, if it was around since biblical times, why is this now new at 1981, where you're starting to get reports of these things? It's a lot of time that's passed. We know that Gabriel used or implanted an imposter in Noah's Ark. And maybe it took all this time for it to activate, if you will, for lack of a better term. But it made it seem like it would come about whenever, like, you'd pretty much at that time lost all hope and there would be nothing you could do about it. So I don't know how that ties in, but there's a huge gap of time from the biblical accounts to the 1980s. It's a lot of time passing, and for them to say it's a newer occurrence is very odd to me.
Lock all doors and windows.
Oh, it's so dang loud. You're yelling at me.
And has
Have access to a rifle. Sometimes people do the Roman 4 like that for some reason. Okay. Don't know if that's an important detail. Okay. Yeah, it's technically it's incorrect because, like, so back forever ago, we were in, like, weird, like, crazy programs we had to learn stuff in when they taught you weird stuff in school. And I was in one of those programs, and they pulled us out of, like, normal class, and they taught us Roman numerals, the Mayan numerical system, and Egyptian hieroglyphics. Obviously, they have numbers as well. And there was one other, I can't recall. We had Roman, like, Egyptian hieroglyphics, their number system, and then we had Mayan numbers. But there was one other one. I want to say it was, like, of the ancient Asian type people. I don't recall what it was. I don't remember exactly, so I could just be guessing. But there was 4 that we were taught in, and we had to learn how to count in each of these number systems. And so I remember specifically we learned how to add. So you counted, right? Which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? Went all the way up to, I don't remember. It was like 1,000 or several thousand. I think it was like, I don't remember what we went up to. It was a large number though. And then we had to learn how to add the numbers together. And then we had to learn how to subtract. And then we had to learn how to multiply the numbers. I don't specifically recall ever learning how to divide, but I know that they taught addition, subtraction, and multiplication with these number systems. And I remember I was like, damn, this is this is intense, you know, because we had to learn. I don't know why they were doing it, but it was like a special group of us, and they just taught like a 10 or I think it was like a class of maybe 10 or more, and we all had to learn these number systems. And it was a very young age, and I remember like they drilled us on it. So they taught us Roman numerals, Mayan numbers, and whatever else. And that's when I learned for the first time that Mayans had kind of like, I think they were the first to use like the number 0 as a as a written number. They use it like as a placeholder and stuff. So that was where I learned all that. But it was interesting because it was way advanced, and I was just in grade school. So it was really odd. But anyways, that's my weird childhood and how I almost became a hitman. Or maybe it'll say what type 2 and 3 are. Oh, that'd be nice because of TVs. Remember, Cold War. A lot of reasons for people to have fear. That's true. That's true. After all, who isn't afraid of a nuclear war? Yeah, even, I mean, like, just to, we're talking IRL right now. You know, it's very unsettling because as a child, you don't pay attention to these kinds of things and all these other things. But it's like, you're just out to have fun, whatever else. Your normal day-to-day life's pretty much unimpacted. But then as you get to adults, it's like you learn more about like the fear-mongering of the news and the media and social media, and how fear-mongering is like such a thing and people just love to do it. And I think that's so evil. It really, like, I don't know why people spread like misinformation or they cause like unnecessary fear. I think information that you can use to then say, I should probably prepare, or oh, that sucks, or hey, but fear mongering is something that gets eyeballs. And guess what? When you have eyeballs, that means you got people watching, you got people listening, you get people that are paying, right? You get your money, you're getting your ratings up, whatever else. So I don't have a lot of respect for those types of things. But like even nowadays, right? So now all we hear about is an inevitable war with Russia and China, which if you think about, man, that'd be scary, especially at the at homeland, like having a war that's going to happen here, right? There's always been fear of the nuclear war thing and whatever else. The one thing that two sides of the coin here. One thing that's scary about it is like, yeah, that sucked because you're gonna die. I mean, like, there's no way around it. We don't have bunkers. I mean, we're just regular people. So yeah, I would be dead. Another thing though is like, it's just scary because like, are we ever gonna actually get to that point? But a lot of it has been a lot of fear mongering, and yeah, there's certain things that are happening and whatever else. But it's just scary because now as an adult, you hear more and more about like, you understand why like your parents were the way they were and how they're always like on edge or whatever. It's because all the pressure and all the stress that the media and stuff tries to give you to be like, oh, we're gonna go to war and this is gonna happen, and it could be, and it could not be, but it's just the fear mongering that gets me, and it reminds me like of the Cold War. Like nothing happened during the Cold War. Everyone was like, I'm gonna press this button and nukes are gonna fly, and they're like, me too, and then like, nah, we're gonna put our nukes away, but then everybody has stockpiled nuclear weapons anyways, right? So it's like, you never know the truth, and it reminds me of the United States Department of Temporal Phenomena. Are they really telling the truth, or are they just a government entity that's like, let's just keep it hush hush, keep the people, keep the masses ignorant because we know more than they do? So it's just weird, like I think of like the parallels between this and like real world, like the government truly knows more, right? And it's like they just choose to share what they want to share and omit the details that they think don't need to be shared. So it's like, is that what's happening here, where maybe the government knows everything about the alternates, and they're just slowly saying, hey, there's these things that could potentially harm you, but don't worry, all you got to do is do this, this, and this. You follow these steps, you're fine. Because they know that if the information spread elsewhere or by other means, where the common people are like, oh my gosh, there's alternates and they're coming, they would probably spread mass panic. And the government knows, no, we don't want mass panic, because guess what? If that happens, we're all dead. Is that what's happening here? I don't know. It's kind of cool. But I think about like the parallels, right, between like what's going on right now in the world and this interesting analog horror. And I'm like, like, I don't know. I don't know if I trust the Department of Temporal Phenomenon, because they seem to know more than what they're letting on, and then the fact that they have some temporal thing to them, like there's definitely a knowledge of like distortions in time and space that they know about, so I don't know. And then they say time is fleeting. Almost means like, hey, time's running out, not time goes by so fast, but time is fleeting, time's slipping away from our grasp. And they're hiding that in plain sight. Very typical of what like government does anyway. So it's like, it's really interesting. I'm like, what's going on, like, actually, and why is there such a huge gap between the biblical times and the 80s? Like, what's happening? But anyways, sorry for the rant, but I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just thinking like, it's just really fun to think, for fun to do the parallels. But like, what is up with this the think principle and whatever? Like, how is all this coming about, like, and for what reason? Let's see. There was also the Red Scare, the McCarthy trials, etc. Yeah, not necessarily in the 80s themselves, but them appearing during the Cold War era makes sense to me, indeed. And it was during the 90s that people were getting very worried about their kids being kidnapped. That's true. I remember that. That was a real big thing. So kids were made to stay home where it was safe and they could be watched. Heck, with doppelgangers, depending on how well they can stay hidden, They could replace politicians or news journalists and just fearmonger. That's good. Yeah, that's interesting. That's true. Oh, there's no closed captions. So here's the thing. I know that they mentioned like the different types, right? But they said you will know based on their physical characteristics. So at no point in time should an alternate be like questionable. Like, is that you'll know if it's an alternate. So that begs the question of the accuracy of the copying abilities or the imitation abilities of the doppelganger. Because I mean, it looks slightly. You're gonna tell, right? I love these. Unusually long arms, upside down. Mad. You don't want to talk to it. Psychological warfare. We've mentioned that multiple times. Attempts at executing themselves. So I like how before they had like a hunting rifle, now they have like a fully automatic weapon. Is this new? It's not. In the event of an alternate counter fault thing, okay. Oh gosh, here we go with the Kermit thing they're gonna throw in here. Not only have they dropped the F-bomb 1,000 times. Tell an authority figure about your encounter. Hinder the alternate's movement. See, but here's the thing. They say to do that. How? If you can't actually hurt it, do you lock it in a room? I mean, that seems they don't seem to open doors. Well, they can open basement doors and disable cameras, but if you're locked in the door for 2 weeks or 2 days, you're safe. Identify the class type. I wish they would give us more information on the classes. Neutralize. Oh gosh, here we go. Get ready to fast forward. There's not enough room for the 2 of us. We've seen that before. Know your place in reality. That's eerie. I love how they're like, nope, just kidding. Know your enemy. This is where we jump into the types. Type 1's a doppelganger. Let me go back to my original notes really quickly. The Mandela Catalogue. She's like tiny. I mean, that looks pretty good. Another doppelganger just has a longer kind of... No. Ooh. I like that. Type 2 is detectable? You remember Type 2 was in that one video. So here we go. Type 1 doppelganger. Let me go back because I certainly can't spell that. It's German as hell. Doppelganger. Okay. And then type 2 is detectable. Remember, detectable was the one that appeared in front of Noah. Sorry, I had to move that out of the way. Let's see. Detectable. Yep. Ooh, that's new. This is new. This is new. Okay, so 2 minutes, 18 seconds. Hold on real quick. My wife's texting me. She normally doesn't, so. Making sure everybody's alive and well. Okay, so. Yeah. So Gabriel is a detectable. Type 3. Please show me the types. Distortion much? It doesn't say what it is. Oh, gosh. Okay. That's just... Ugh. So we have the one without the face. And then we have the one with, like, it's pure black with white eyes. Or, sort of. Okay. Lovely. Sorry about the noise. La, 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 la. That is unpleasant. Here we have... I see a bed. It looks creepy. Is this new? This looks new, right? I think this is new. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. That was scary. Okay, sorry. So that's a... I'm going to call it a pure form because that's what it was in Ultimate Watch. Oh, goodness. Okay. Yeah, let me catch up on comments. I need to stop looking at that. Scared the crap out of me. Okay. GL says, could be referring to the temporal lobe as well. Weird stuff happening in your head, no doubt. Does it look like someone you know? It's possible that the only type that they were aware of were doppelganger, which, if you knew the real person, you could pick apart their disguise. True. Doors? But even they could get out and track you down. Yeah. I was teasing. I was joking about the doors, like them gutting it, but because they can certainly open doors. Yeah, if you knew these people, you could possibly tell if they were replaced by a doppelganger. Type 2 seems to be Gabriel, so maybe religious looking. Ooh, it says detectable, so like that. But to me, like type 3s and 4s, like it's like a no duh. Like you see that, you know that's something. Detectable, I thought would mean it's very apparent. It's very easy to see. But if you realize, remember, detectable has a normal face, and then it can switch that creepy face on. So I like where you're going with that. Or just weird looking. Type 3 is just inhuman. Oh, that's not very nice. I'm the inhuman one after all. And then, let's see, seems they kind of look like a normal person, but are inhuman looking to be a doppelganger. Yeah, so they're like, wait, there's something very wrong with their appearance. That scared the crap out of me. Alex Kister, you little bastard. You are talented, my friend. You are talented. Okay, so... So we've done the Mandela Catalogue Act 1, original copies. Next would be Act 2, I'm assuming. Let's just pop it open and see what all they have. I don't have time to watch any today. I do have to eat food. I'm starving. We have Interlude, the Mandela Catalogue 4. So it went from 1, 2, 3, 3, 3 to 4. And then Mandela Catalyst. That's awesome. I am super excited about that. So let's go ahead and the Mandela, not Mandora, Catalog Act 2. So, I mean, with what I know, I would have no clue to have a definitive theory on that. Aside from the theory that I currently have, where there are two factions and they're either working together in collusion or they're working against one another. In the end, humanity's kind of feeling the results of either agenda in a bad way. But I wouldn't have been able to come up with a conclusive theory. I would have been able to say, hey, look, these are the options of what we're dealing with here. But anyways, that is really cool. 3 videos only. Now, the Mandela Catalogue Volume 4 is incredibly long. It looks like it's bringing back Thatcher, possibly as an alternate. We have some weird, handlebar mustache-looking guy, a Ryan Gosling-looking mother, and then we've got some creepy doorway Mandela Catalyst. So I imagine that that's going to take a big chunk of time. So, which is fine. But what I want to do is I want to take a slight, not a break, because a break means like I'm not like feeling it or whatever. I need to take a step away from it. But I want to change gears. And I do want to focus on one of the games that we mentioned last week and in today's poll. Apparently you guys have already kind of voted. And it looks like Doki Doki Literature is going to be the one we look at. I've downloaded, because they're free, thank goodness, the games from the Game Pass on my Xbox One. So because I'm accustomed to streaming games, this is actually newer to me, but streaming games, we can jump into the Mandela Catalogue. Jump into Doki Doki Literature, which we should probably be able to beat in 1 to 2 sessions. And then we jump right into the Mandela Catalogue Volume 2. Next week might have some additional streams just because I'll have to be moving pretty much all day Saturday and whatever else, but I need to maybe finish any finalization, any packing, whatever, Friday. So I might not do my normal, I normally post 1 to 2 videos on each channel every week. I might primarily just focus on this channel next week so that I can do the live streams and play Doki Doki Literature, and then jump into the Mandela Catalogue Part 2, because I can't forget Happy Meat Farms has the final video about the IT department. So I do need to jump into that at some point in time. Also, I need to find a way to make $89 in between now and as soon as possible, so I can purchase the Steam dock that will allow me to play pretty much project the Steam Deck onto a TV so I can much more easily record it. The reason why that's so important is because I have to have more than an hour of battery time to do a stream. So if I'm playing a game like Amanda the Adventurer, I need to have it connected to the power source because it is a handheld device. So if I can do that, then I can get a Steam dock, project it on TV, and then everything can be captured like normal. If I have to have it captured through my directly through the device, I don't have enough battery time. So those are a few things on my kind of to-do list. We're going to fit in Doki Doki Literature next week. We're going to fit in Happy Meat Farms at some point in time. We're going to jump into the Mandela Catalogue Part 2. But I also need to find a way outside, maintenance-wise, to get the Steam dock so that I can show those other games as well. So we'll figure it out, though. I just want to let you guys know what I'm thinking anyways. I'm thinking out loud, but it's nice to share. Okay. Let's catch up on comments. And that's the original copies. They're done. Now Act 2 is next. 40 minutes. Yeah, that's a freaking monster of a video. The links I sent I haven't checked them out yet. I did find them in the Discord, so I appreciate you sending that. That's freaking awesome. I need to learn how to use them first. I guess it's just you use the link and then you search within that engine, but I haven't even used them yet. I just saved them. So I copied them and added them to a notepad and on my iPad as well, so that I can kind of have them for future reference. Because you said that at some point in time we'll need to visit the website that is now disabled, so I would like to check that out. I checked them myself and wanted to make sure they worked on you. I will. I'm back. I'm probably not going to watch the Doki Doki one. Like I said, I couldn't make it past the content warning. Oh, is it creepy, or is that what you're saying? Is Doki Doki too creepy, or are you just not interested? I'm probably let's see. Couldn't make it past the content warning. Oh, there's going to be a huge storm here. Golf ball sized hail. That's what my wife's saying. Yeah, you copy the first link and the second will take you to the Internet Archive, which has the Wayback Machine. Okay, sweet. Oh, no. It involves a ton of Kermit. Oh no. Well, I'll do my best to try and play it with the, oh gosh. That's going to be fun. We'll see. I mean, if it ends up being something like that, I might just have to say, sorry guys, I know that, but I learned about this information. I don't mind the graphic stuff and like the gore, but anything beyond that is going to be kind of rough. So maybe we jump into Omori. Maybe Omori doesn't have so much of that content. I'll do research tonight, and I'll figure out what I need to do, and I'll give you guys a heads up because I feel wrong to give you guys the poll and then say, sorry, not going to do what you guys voted for. It's kind of a jerk move. But anyways, you guys are awesome. There's a huge storm coming my way with like, it says golf ball sized hail. So I need to go pick up my kids super duper early. You guys are amazing. We will be going live Monday, and please stay up to date on the whole, the YouTube and stuff. I'll be sure to give you guys all the information you need. And until next time, it's Inhuman signing out. You guys are amazing.